Kwanza nataka nikaribishe survivors wale wakuja waongee, waeleze watu kutoka Nairobi vile mambo yametendeka hapa siku hiyo.
On the morning of Saturday 11th, how comes that a whole community, large numbers of people perished here?
The enormity of the WaGalla massacre, the worst violation of human rights in the history of Kenya, according to the United Nations.
How could thousands of soldiers who have been trained to ensure they keep law and order in this country, how could they be yearning for our blood like that?
There was a flag. The Kenyan flag was flying for us. People were so trusting. People did not believe that kind of thing could happen. Today, 30 years later, people would rather be shot as they run away than to be headed into a place where they will be massacred.
What transpired here on the 10th of February 1984 has now popularly come to be known as the WaGalla Massacre.
In 1984, I was a young boy who had just completed his Form 4 education at WaGalla High School.
Wakati mbele ya WaGalla, mimi alikuwa iko na mbuzi, ng'ombe mingi, na duka kidogo na kazi ya ngozi, nilikuwa na hapa town.
Nilikuwa nikifanya kazi ya jeshi wakati ile ya WaGalla Massacre. Wakati hiyo sasa nilikuwa nimepewa koblo, tena mimi driver ya gari.
I am the former chief of WaGalla in 1984.
I was posted to this school, WaGalla Primary School, on the 5th of May, 1977.
I was born in 1965, where we are now today, WaGalla. I was one of the pioneers of WaGalla Primary School in 1977. I can remember still my admission number 007.
That very night, before daybreak, I had a bang on my door, a very strong bang. But I remember the door flanging open completely. Mwalimu come out.
Just when my mom had woken me up and we were preparing for the prayers, that these soldiers appeared from the darkness and they asked for all male human beings to get out of those houses.
Kati ya msikiti na nyumba yangu naona magari mingi ya jeshi yanasimama, manyumba nafunjwa. na ile mtu natoa yumba na pigwa na tuba juu ya gari, akagoba akarudi nyumbani.
Anakuja, wewe kabila gani? Digodia, lala. Wewe kabila gani? Digodia, lala. Wewe kabila gani? Fulani, toka.
Jina tu ile ilikuwa natafutwa ni Digodia. Basi ukiwa Digodia wewe ingia gari. Watu walikuwa wanafikiri ni barasa ya kawaida.
Nikijaribu kutoroka pande nyingine, niona sasa kila upande hiyo sauti ya gari na hiyo kitu iko. Sasa nishinda kwenda mahali nyingine na ingia chini ya kitanda. Iko kitanda moja hapa alikuwa. Hata askari mara 3 wakaingia hiyo yumba, lakini hawakinipata sababu wakaangalia yumba, unajua wanafungua, wanaangalia chika mlango namna hiyo, wanaangalia lakini wanaona kama hakuna kitu.
I took my CP in 1983 in WaGalla Primary School, where I completed my primary education. I was admitted to Kabete Technical High School, which was a national school, in fact. I went to WaGalla Primary School to collect my living certificate, to attach to that admission form. Then I proceed to Nairobi. On the way now between the WaGalla Primary School and the town, I met 2 vehicles, a lorry and a Land Rover, both military vehicles. Some soldiers came out and I had my admission form plus my living certificate on my hand in an envelope. Nobody asked me. I was just thrown in.
I was among the ones bundled in a military vehicle and straight away driven to this point, which now I know it's WaGalla airstrip.
The OCPD who left here met me at my AP camp. And when I asked him, what's wrong here? He told me the district commissioner is calling you. The acting district commissioner is calling you.
There were so many people seated around here and security officials were all around.
More and more vehicles now were coming from different directions. Military vehicles were bringing loads and loads of human beings. By afternoon, early afternoon, this ground was almost full now.
I came to the then acting district commissioner, Mr. MTM, and asked him, what's wrong today in WaGalla? Then he told me on the 8th of February 1984, there was a meeting conducted in the district commissioner's office by the National Intelligence Committee, the district committee, the Provincial Security Committee. They had a meeting there and they instructed all the Godia male to be rounded up.
I remember officers who introduced themselves as security officers from Garissa started addressing us here that we are all suspected of having guns. The purpose of bringing you here is to make sure that you cooperate with the security officers, and anybody with a gun should surrender the gun that he has or that he knows. And then when the military poured in, that was the end of normalcy now.
Anza kupiga sasa. Leteni bunduki. Sasa sisi mali wasikujua bunduki bali gani iko. Wanaomesha sisi namna gani sisi bado hali wanapiga hawa.
I never knew what was going on, in fact. But I wondered why some of my relatives were here, a lot of other people were here, my own teachers were there.
I personally, as a headmaster of the place, of the school, WaGalla Primary School, plus 5 of my teachers were taken to the airstrip there, WaGalla, and were tortured. We were tortured physically, mentally.
Mimi nasema washa. Nikumbusha hii watu kama mimi mfanya kazi ya serikali. Kipande ya kufanya kazi ya serikali ndio nimetoa saa namna hiyo. Kula askari anaambia leteni mtu. Naambia wewe ni nani? Naambia mimi mfanya kazi ya serikali kama wewe. Ile kati ya kazi nichukua naangalia. Baada kuangalia ananiambia hii mstaki leta kipande ya Kenya. Kwa mfukuni nimetoa. Kuangalia hivi naambia wewe kipande yako mahali umekata ndio mimi nataka watu yake leo. Naambia kwa nini? Ulikata kipande yako kwa buluchoko sio? Nisema ndio. Bas. Baada ya kubaya.
We were asked to lie on our stomachs on that hot mara. Nude, naked. Clothes were taken away.
Some people were resisting that order to undress and remove all their clothes. So I was among them who insisted that I must keep on my kikoi. I am an innocent person brought here, public employee like you. Can I go and see the commanding officer? Do you know in which condition he was? The officer commanding here. He was taking a very cold beer, given to him from a cool box, from the tailboard. He was enjoying himself. Where here people were being put through hell.
Some senior government officers came out. People serving in the civil service and people serving in the teacher service. All of them are public officers. So many of them were amongst us. These people came out in large numbers. I don't know how they pursued their freedom, to be very sincere. I saw them crowded next to a vehicle, and later they were picked up and they were released. But I could not say I'm a public officer because of my size and how tiny I was.
The first person who tried to run away was a young, energetic, camel-header boy, about of my age. He straight came to the main gate, this gate now. I can remember he was shot and he died here.
So, and I remember the officers there saying, "Nyama ya fisi." Huyo ni nyama ya fisi. That was the first person who died.
Kufika saa 7 hakuna mwanaume mmoja hata kidogo. Askari saa hiyo haja kuanza vituko ya kina mama. Wanaangalia kina mama hivi wanasema leo ngao hata tumerokota wanaume yenu, hawezi kukosa wanaume. Mtapata tu wanaume, sisi ndo wanaume yenu. Kufika saa 8, saa 9, manyumba zinaanza kuchomwa. Kona tu kona naanza kuchomwa.
Ile mayumba hata kama yuko na mtoto yuko ndani yake, hiyo mtoto anachomeka.
Kila mahali moto unawaka. Mama anapiga kelele sasa. Oh, nyumba anachomwa, toka. Yeye anaambia mayumba anachomwa, toka. Tutoroke. tukapata watu wengine kina mzee wengine 9 hivi, tukutembea mpaka huko, tukukuja tunakuja hii pande hii WaGalla, tukapata barabara. Sasa tunapita msituni, tunapata mabimama wengine wengi wanaya waliwekwa hapa, anatafuta bwana, anawekwa maji 5 liters 3 liters maji, tena hata maji wanaweka sukari.
Sisi tunachukua tena maziwa na chai, tunatafuta wanaume yetu, tunaenda. Wakati tunaingia kajakani, tunapata askari tena. Askari 3 anafukusa mimi. Ikifukuzwa moja akafata mimi, kifatwa mimi. Wakati unafukuzwa sasa, moja ndio akafata mimi, hiyo moja akafanya mimi rep, kaangusha mimi chini, akafanya mimi rep. Jeraha hiyo wakati hiyo ndio hiyo alama yake, ile ngine iko hapa. Mwanamke anaita Duba anafanya rep. Mwanamke anaita Abdi Abey anaita rep. Mwanamke anaita Saqawa Samwai anaita rep. Mwanamke anaita Mariam Sheikh Abdullahi anaita rep. Kuna wanawake anatoka kwa watoto habo wanakufa hiyo watoto habo.
Ile kidogo msichana, ile kidogo ya miaka 10, miaka 8, ile mama mkubwa yote sawa, wanaanza kurep. Ile mwanamke anaanza kupigana na hawa kidogo ni kisu na wanakata na kisu, wanapiga risasi, wengine wanafunja mguu, wanachukua rungu ile kubwa, anaanza kufunja mguu mbili. Mtu akifunjika mguu mbili hataweza kwenda kwa mahali. Sasa kila mmoja anakuja kurep hiyo mwanamke, kila mmoja. Abdia Urmoga pia amefanywa vibaya, amerebua, na tena yeye alikuwa wakati alikuwa mtu wa biashara, hata walienda na pesa yake yote. Wakati alianza kupigana na yeye, na hiyo mtu alikuwa na rep yeye, alikuwa anataka kuuma yeye, kwa sababu vile alisikia uchungu alikuwa anataka kuuma yeye. Vile alipiga na ngume, ile meno yote ametoka. Sasa ile alisikia uchungu, anaona mwana yake ametoka, akashika na nguvu na hiyo mtu. Ile bunduki alikuwa ako nayo ndio alipiga na macho, mpaka macho ametoka. Akilala usiku anatoa hiyo kitu nyeupe, haoni kitu, usiku inadirika na hiyo kitu nyeupe inadirika.
Mimi na Gayare nalala pamoja namna hii. Mimi namwambia Gayare, sasa wacha ile toa bunduki. Wacha sisi nisema iko bunduki nyumba Gayare. Alafu twende sisi naonesha wewe. Ule inspector anachukua gari, sisi niingia. Nikuja yumba hapa. Kama yumba iko hapa, yumba hakuna kitu yoyote. Mtoto habari iko, mama hii yumba habari iko ya Gayare. Duka hakuna kitu yoyote, hakuna. Iko kisima ndani, kisima hii bunduki hii. Naambia wacha sisi niingie natoa. Sasa yeye nifahamu kama habari iko bunduki hapa, nataka ingia. Mimi nataka nini kuingia kisima? Kisima iko hapa. Kunywa maji. Ingia kisima hiyo. Huyo inspector banafahamu sasa ndio kama habari iko bunduki. Bas. Anaanza kupiga na rusha za gari.
The acting district commissioner said, I think it is good for us to give them water and food. Then all of them, the other security officers, they left him on protest. So he picked me and told me, military officers are never good. Let's go to town. And he picked me, brought me to town.
So Tiema himself, he agreed and he said, actually these people need water.
Yes. Tiema said they deserve to be given water, food, and the like. Then we came to his office. I remember a GK 134E of Ministry of Education, a water boozer. He instructed a water to be put in the vehicle, food to be taken by Sergeant Ahmed Gorio, the late also now. And he told them, go and provide this water plus this food to those people at WaGalla.
One time they brought a water boozer, a vehicle, these water tankers, which was full of water. And you know what they did? They brought it somewhere there and left the tap open. So you can imagine someone who has been hungry and thirsty all these days, when he sees water that has been left open, what does he do? Runs to it, just like a cow. Ile kupandana na ile kukimbia, wengine wamekufa njiani. Those who came to the point of the water were killed by the water itself.
We suspected even that water was poisoned.
And I want to tell you, more than 100 people lay dead on that water. I was lying, motionless, hungry, thirsty, no energy at all, when a military officer came close to where I was lying. He squatted, brought his head close to my ears, and talked to me. Once I took a sip, he held my head like that and ensured it came out. This is the man who was responsible for my survival in the WaGalla massacre. This officer did this again and again and again. And this is why I'm saying my life cycle is not complete until I have met that guy and I have at least said thank you. This is the time someone in authority, he could be a DC or the person in charge of the district at that time, and he started telling us, Nyenye degodea mutaenda Ethiopia. Those of us who are educated, we tried to sing the national anthem. And I remember, like a choir master, because I was slightly more energetic than them, because of what the gentleman was giving me, like a choir master, I was leading them in singing the stanzas of the national anthem.
Yeah.
Least did I know that the beautiful national anthem of Kenya I was singing was falling on deaf ears. People who didn't care about Kenya, who didn't care about Kenyans. As we continued singing, some of the people decided to run away. The soldiers sprayed the bullets indiscriminately without thinking of the loss of life or the impact it will have on these people.
When people were running to this way, I just went ahead where the vehicles were. I stood up, not hearing anything from anything because of the queue and because of the thirst and hungry. I just passed there. And all the Askaris were now, their attention was on where the people ran to, while I was just sleeping. That kid just came grazing. I got hold of one. I never had a knife. I had nothing at all. I was naked. Then I just took a stick. As I just slept on that small goat, I took the blood and the water from the stomach. I was again taken to WaGalla Primary School, back beyond WaGalla Primary School, where some survivors were also there. An Italian aid worker called Annalena Tonali was also rescuing the people.
I was about 25 years old and I was working in the WaGalla hostel. Annalena was working there, so I worked with her 2 years. So some people came to the hostel, so I went to Annalena and said, look, there are people. So we went to the Dio Centro. It's a good man. Said, look, looks like the people have been released. So let's go and take them water. So he carried water. He carried food, the Dio Centro. That's why I'm saying it's not all government, it's bad. I wish I can actually find him because I can't remember who he was. And we went there. He was, but because we couldn't wait for me and Annalena went straight, entered the place. When we got there, of course, the captain in charge was shocked. White woman, I'm wearing a white coat, and they asked me what it is, and I said, look, we were looking to help the people. I'm from Red Cross. I was a member, but then I said from International Red Cross. Probably that saved us. It took them a while to decide to chase us out. By the time it was happening, the Dio Centro also had come with his gun and his few askaris, and we were there. So the army captain then realized this is a mess. So he told his guys, get them out, and they cocked their guns, and we just drove away.
Jumatatu ndio mimi sasa damu inaharibika. Sasa wakati hiyo ndio mimi naanza kuiba watu 2, 3, 4, 5. Kuweka juu ya gari ile niendeshe. Kama sasa mimi naenda kuleta chakula ama kitu fulani. Commanders kabla kutoka. Ndio mimi naleta hapa. Kuleta tena silete hapa. Napeleka mahali kama shule ama water. Ndio nikagunduliwa kumbe mimi nasaidia watu. Nilichikwa saa 8. Nikaambiwa okay, wewe unaenda battalion orders, umefunja amri, unakataa amri ya jeshi. Mimi nilipelekwa kambi kufanywa kitu naitwa battalion commander order. Wakati ile mimi nabebwa tena Benson Carrier iko ndani ya hiyo ndege pamoja na Muhindi Francis Muhindi, hiyo battalion commander. Ndege ilitoka huko, alafu ile ilienda mpaka WaGalla. Ilisunguka kwa hiyo maiti na wale wako uchi, wale watu hawana nguo, waliangalia ndege ikasunguka hiyo. Benson Carrier akasema hii watu wanafanya kazi ya maana sana.
Unajua ile mheshimiwa yetu ya WaGalla West alitoroka akafika Nairobi, akabatia kile inafanyika hapa journalist. Maneno akabatia kile inafanyika hapa journalist. Journalist sasa waka release ile information ya mheshimiwa.
The following day they dumped the bodies. In fact, we met the groups which were carrying the bodies while we were trying to rescue people. The road of Garissa, and it became a cat and mouse, just, you know, and it had gone so badly now. It was all covered up. I was detained. All sorts of things were done.
Mimi nilienda hii barabara ya Mandera Tiltuba, na yeye alibeleka barabara hii ya Moyale. Aldela atumo.
Aha.
Group kidela.
Sisi watu 45 iko Dela na Maga huko.
Dela. Najua 50 mile kutoka hapa.
Dela hiyo ile mambo mimi namwambia wewe sasa. Kafu. Bila fisi hakuna kitu gini. Sisi wanamaga kama gonia huko. Na tu bagari. Alafu wanamaga hapa sisi na maka. Ngura kitu ngura yote namna hii. Sasa fisi wanakuja sasa.
Nakula watu.
Wanaanza kula watu sasa.
Tumepata picha hapa kwa shule, kwa hiyo wale wazungu tukaenda msituni tukupata watu 193 maiti hapa. Sasa maiti, sasa mimi kazi yangu ni kupanga watu kwa kulalisha namna hiyo laini moja. Tukapiga picha hapa karibu tukapata 193, tukapiga yote picha.
Senior Superintendent of Police, Mr. Amaratia, who was sent from Nairobi to unearth this issue, came. It was late in 17th March 1984. That's the time he came. So I was picked from my house by the OCBD and he told me, we need you at my house. In that juncture, there are two things now I have to do. If I refuse, I can be accused by telling government officer lies. I'm punishable. If I go, there's risk that I might be killed. I don't know.
Kutoka kule Wajir, tukaja Giriftu, tukaonana na ndugu yetu Mr. Uwas Abdille Gure. Uwas Abdille Gure wakati niliambia hivyo, akaniambia, je, si wataniua? Mpaka nikaambia, hata wacha waua ndugu yako ngapi? Wawili. Basi wewe mtu ya tatu, mimi niwe nne, wewe kwenda onisha. Usijali. Ndugu yetu Ugas alienda kuonyesha. Sasa mimi nataka bana Uwas, wakati alikuwa anaonyesha hiyo maiti, vile ule mtu CID alikuwa anakaa.
Wahantu si mimi naonyesha mfube mingi sana.
Kaja hesabu.
Alafu nashinda kujua hesabu yake. Yeye. Alafu nasema mfuba mingi, lakini nataka ile kichwa nitaka hesabu. Sema juu shika moja moja, mwambia 1 2 3 sema. 43. Mimi nakutana pale ya kichwa. Yeye anasema wapi ile ingine, anasema kichwa.
Unajua uwezo? Unajua kishwa? Mimi na Abdulrazak na Bashi tulikuja na siku nyingine mbele yenu. Alafu tukagoba, mnaona sisi alikuwa anapiga picha hiyo maiti. Alafu akataka sema hii maiti watu tarogota, serikali na rogota, na tumepiga picha tufiche na magani. Tunaona hiyo maiti mingi namna hiyo kurogota, alafu kuzika ni ngumu. Alafu sisi nakata kichwa.
Mulitoa kichwa.
Tulitoa kichwa. Karibu gunia 3 tunajaza kichwa peke yake. Unaona sasa tunaweka miti ingine inaitwa bisku. Hapa ndio tunaweka
ile miti iko
kichakani kabisa. Tunaweka hiyo maiti karibu gunia 3. Labda hiyo 43 ile tulishinda kukata. Ndio hiyo ndio tunishinda kukata, tumwacha.
اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا ورزقا واسعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وحلالا طيبا وتوبة نستحت وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت والعفو عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. إلهي هاونا حريست ميت كان ميشيس أنجونا إلهي هاونا حريست إلهي الجنة هكورابية قال الإنسان يش إلهي حقنا هنغسية إلهي هنوفذ ذي إلهي هنوفذ ذي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين.
There was one question that people in this place, after the WaGalla massacre, they used to ask one another, who did this?
The northern frontier district at one time was not even considered part of Kenya, and the whole history of the northern Kenya, our relationship with Somali, the Ogaden crisis, the Shifta wars, have tended to isolate the northern Kenya. And for the entire period of our country's first 10 years, it was militarized. So the provincial administration in that part of Kenya was not a normal provincial administration that we knew of. The military was given immunity, so they could carry out any atrocities in the name of state security, and they were immunized. They could not be charged in any court of law. But now when they came to me as a lawyer, I took more interest, so I did a bit of research. And then, of course, we filed the case in 2005.
annaka arintan WaGalla aad iyo aad ay noo dhibtay waana dib badan oo na soo maray waa xanuun badan oo na soo maray markaan xasuusano maskaxdayda dhamaan si kale ay noqotaa maanta dawladda Kenya أنا كدولة كينيا waxay naga dhigtay inaan wanaajin jirin dadka wadanka Kenya ku dhashay oo Kenya ah inaan ahayn
waxaa dadkaas aan qornay 147 ruux dadka asaga boqol iyo 48 ruux aan qoran dadka asaga ya dad 148 ruux ah gadaal ka qoran anaga qafkeen xasuusnaan oo cid kasta ma xasuusan kar aniga laakiin cid ayada la soo diray ayaa loo baahan yahay inay magaalada ka keenaan dadkii dhintay inay keenaan hore ka dhintay keenaan dadkii gadaal ka dhintay ay keenaan dadka dhaawac ahay iska dhaaf
wanatutoa nguo kuilala uchi hiyo kwanja bila kunya bila kula, na wengi pia wanakufa sababu ya njaa na kiu. Wale walishinda kufumbilia na kujaribu kukimbia walipigwa risasi.
Wale waliwekwa katika kiwanja 5,000 people. Wale tunataraji walikufa kama 3,000. Wale majina zao tuko nazo 365.
wanasoma hapa nini?
هذا نبرق ورم دلنا بهلنا الحمد لله إنك نايل إنك بهلنا.
Kile tunaomba ni wewe leo hii utangaze public inquiry ili tujue ni nani na wakina nani walisababisha maafa ya WaGalla. Ya pili pia ukitumia uwezo wako kama Prime Minister Supervisor, tunataka tupate compensation.
What you wanted initially wasn't so much monetary compensation, but to let people speak out, let people talk as a process of healing. And when I filed this case, when people came and we wrote the letters, they said, no, this is a matter that the government will address, in the context of the TJRC.
The TJRC is an opportunity for you to record those stories, those truths, and to ensure that they become a part of the permanent historical record of this country. We are embarking on a journey, and we invite you to join us.
This commission was set up to provide a safe space for witnesses to speak, to tell their story. So we ask that when individuals are testifying, that you please listen politely and attentively. Some of the things you may hear may differ from your own recollection or your own perspective on events. We ask that you please politely listen attentively to the testimony of the witnesses.
Really had a wonderful vision that at the end of the process, we would be able as Kenyans to say we have looked back at our painful past, addressed it, and we are able now to move forward as a country that has dealt with its past, and so we are moving towards reconciliation, healing, and national unity. Those were the grand aspirations.
I think there's two things that stood out for me in that way in the process. Firstly, that Kenya really has a lot of walking wounded. Secondly, that injustice is injustice. and in the way that people experience injustice, their experiences have a commonality.
Mr. Hunt, we were in fact, all animals perished away. But
Mzee Isaac, would you wish to continue with this testimony?
I want to tell the commissioners that people are still dying today. And if, because of the injuries that people got from WaGalla airstrip.
You can rest a bit if you like. Take a few minutes.
jilbaay gooyoon ku jalala caajiraaqe jaygaas ogtaay baa leegu jaamushe allaanigoo jajaban baa jafaay leegu tuur jalladanay nafteydii alla waa jiida toytoos beerkaay buriyey bahday waa la waayey boqolow ragaynee hadda loo bisley balood yahayni buubuuxay waa maxay bannaankaan yahay beyle gaariga wadays allaawee guntaydii guri dhagax laheed awee guntaydii geelow dhaqays alla geeriyooday go'aan liigu gaariyey geeda madowga cidla waa gamaasiyey guryahayni waa gubad muslimumada nabiyey miirkaayi dhaaday muslimumada nabiyey maxogaayi gooy مليوني رجايني مالي دادوني معاشي هالهاي مريس عدايا ومدحيس سيمو مجيب وحان هلون موتي ولا دادي سيدي موشك جاري غاسور كيم مدويا مندليو سرقاليا ميجي مقالة مالقبو تقوديو ودنبي وجير مغن لا إله إلا الله أتوسي وايو إتلاي غايدلاتي وايستاقي وايو نالا ترونتروبي وايستاقي وايو تيغيلي غطور أغايي تلوينو هادي غطوالي سموي هاي توليستو يغتاقي تيكا لا إله إلا الله جوكسن وايو جلاو بانسيتاي دانو جوكسن وايو جيتري إليفيه جاوي رقايني آوا جوهرتايني الدنيا جعلانتا جاي جيان كجوكي الدنيا جعلانتا واقلان كجوكي جليو إنكي يري جغداس كتير جلا جاهي سماقان إله وجودا لو نوغ جاسي لا إله إلا الله عليك الواي الله جاري عليه قال لي قاري جرا مدوغا علا وقماسي سوريا هاي لي واقو بدرجي وقران قرا دوله بقعن وينا ودان كو قرشيغان لا اجو سمايو جلاو بانسيتاي دانو جو سمايو جيتري إليفيه الله جباي ركايني يا وجوهرتايني يا الدنيا جعلانتا جايغيان كجوكي الدنيا جعلانتا واقلان كجوكي جبيو إنكي يرى جغداس كتير قرا جاهي سماقان إله ووجودا لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
The significance of northern Kenya for the Commission is that that region had suffered a repression of their reality. And so they had this history of violations that they felt that the state had, acted against them. But they did not form part of the national record. And the WaGalla massacre, the Garissa massacre, the Mandera, Turbi, these are things that had happened in northern Kenya, but were not known to the rest of the country.
It's a pile of bodies. To my right
iliwekwa katika mkono wangu wa kulia.
My brother Ugas Ibrahim Elmi is one of those whose bodies have never been found. When I sat there and gave my story, cried, I felt a big weight lifted off me. Despite all the things I've done, all the rallies I've been to before, I felt now there was a legitimate body to tell that.
We had a research department, and their work was basically not only to do desk research, but to go to places. And with regard to WaGalla, we actually discovered some very interesting information which had not been seen before in a particular registry, which we began to refer to as the secret registry. Had a lot of documentation, official documentation, about exactly how the WaGalla massacre rolled out in terms of police signals, in terms of who communicated with whom, in terms of minutes and things like that.
I, Manasseh Tiema Milika, do swear that the information I shall give.
The way we structured the hearings is that they would not be adversarial, and that we would allow the witnesses to come and tell their stories.
An unknown number of Ajuran bandits armed with firearms attacked several Dagodia Manyatas and made away with about 2,000 camels, which were not recovered in spite of extensive search and a follow-up by security forces. The Dagodia took a revenge mission in which they killed 1 man and 5 women, all Ajuran.
Ajurans were openly blaming the government for its failure to offer Ajurans protection for their lives and their property.
As a result, the District Security Committee met in a special DSC held in the DC's office at 3 p.m. in which they resolved to conduct an operation to restore public confidence. They resolved to mount a joint operation between Kenya Police, Army, and Administration Police to round up Dagodia male adults for interrogation with a view of retrieving firearms and identifying the killers of the families for other incidents.
Then there was the category of persons who were referred to as adversely mentioned persons.
I, Benson Namarikaria, do swear that the information I shall give before this commission pertaining to the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Our observation is that they came to the process on the defensive.
I was neither involved in the planning, execution, or supervision of the said operation in any capacity whatsoever.
We do not know what had transpired, how they have arrested people, where they have taken them, and action they were taken, until after 2 days.
I couldn't remember discussing anything during our tour of Northeastern which had anything to do with an operation, a security operation, or leave alone the WaGalla massacre.
The extent almost of hostility of the leadership at the district level to the local community. I think for me that just explained how does a massacre happen.
Sitting there now, Mr. Karia, did I hear you say that the operation was a success?
After what they did, it was a success. Other than the incident of people dying, it was a success.
So the operation was a success, and the death of the people was an incident.
It was a success according to us. They had achieved what they wanted. The other one was just unfortunate.
I think that there were opportunities that were lost for reconciliation. I personally think that Benson Karia, who was the PC in that part of the country during the time that a lot of these things happened, I think that he squandered an opportunity to properly and in a human manner, an honest manner, present his side of the story to the victims who were in that auditorium?
I don't need their sympathy. I work for them.
Yes.
If they are not grateful, there's nothing I can do to make them happy. Yes.
And I think that's a great pity. But that was his choice, and that is what we recorded.
Allegations, because they are allegations.
Allegations that he played a role in the WaGalla massacre, the death of one-time Foreign Affairs Minister Robert Ouko, and involvement in legal land acquisitions that have complicated his time as chair of the TJRC.
The Commission will be unable to either cooperate or work with Ambassador Kiplagat.
I have said in my statement that trying to rely on my memory is not good enough, and that's why I have gone into documentation.
The issues around Ambassador Kiplagat were very complicated. If we start at the beginning of the process, by law, the president was the one to appoint the chair of the commission, and the president appointed Ambassador Kiplagat. Ambassador Kiplagat was vetted by Parliament the same as everybody else. I don't know why later the same people then began to raise issues. So then the process became about Ambassador Kiplagat, whereas what we had designed was a victim-centered process. So that was a distraction. The media didn't help.
Kiplagat was recently reinstated by the law courts as chairman after commissioners failed to prove their case against him. But the commissioners are now apparently seeking a rematch.
Making it appear to be a personal issue between Ambassador Kiplagat and the other commissioners, whereas it never was. We had to take into account what it is that the victims were saying. And here you have victims feeling very strongly that a certain commissioner is not suitable.
When issues were raised, I went to him and said, look, and at that time I was purely saying, don't spoil the credibility. This is a process so that people feel free to come. Don't spoil the credibility. It doesn't matter whether you're guilty of those things you're accused of or not, just leave it. And he told me very bluntly that he's not going to leave, and he's not done anything, and that actually the former President Moi had asked him to stay on.
So, Your Excellency, I am submitting to you the report of the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. This is the fruit of the work that this team and others have done. This is our report.
Tumepokea, tumeshukuru. Thank you. Welcome, Chairman.
Thank you.
It never was allowed to work. Most of the time was taken with the litigation and controversy regarding the chairmanship, and towards the end, the recommendations not only were they watered down, they were actually changed. Some of the foreign commissioners in the commission actually refused to sign the final report because of the changes.
On Kiplagat, I think he's really done a big disservice to this country by lowering even people's expectation of the report, removing the real thing that we wanted out of it.
I am not optimistic about any action or any form of justice coming to the people of WaGalla Massacre.
Where we are today is WaGalla Memorial Academy, a secondary school built on behalf of the victims of the WaGalla Massacre that took place in 1984 after strong and long struggles of 30 years. This is the second year, I think, of Form 2s. I'm one of the board of governors of the school.
We are among those who started this school, so we are very happy for that. And then we wish to do best to recover what happened here, to make that people who lost their people here will going to forget. Our people of WaGalla, or generally people of Wajir, don't look behind. Let us move forward to forget the past, to find what is forward, the future.